And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the actual show. Welcome to episode 169 of New York Red Bulls Discussion Group, the podcast. I'm Gary Redmond, your presenter, and of course, your hosts. Mark Coates and Lanre Badmus will be with you very shortly. So, what are we going to be talking about this evening? There's lots to discuss as we need for the next hour, and we appreciate you guys joining us. We're going to talk about, first and foremost, Red Bull New York snatched a point at the death against Toronto FC. There was a lot of people that came by to see winning their home opener for Toronto FC, and they came home disappointed after they received a gut punch, at the final kick of the game. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to be talking about New York Red Bulls 2, undefeated no more. They went to Belson Stadium to take on NYCFC 2, and unfortunately, although they were tied, there's a little thing about penalties after the game, and unfortunately the team lost there. We'll discuss that in a bit. We're also going to talk about Gotham FC. They started their NWSL title defense against Boston Legacy FC. Got a win on the road in front of a record crowd. We're going to talk about that. People showed up for these women for Boston, and talk about that. Of course, after the break, Lanre, when your host Lanre Badmus is going to talk about Charlotte FC and get you guys prepared for the next game still on the road, as Red Bull New York stays there and heads down to the southern Queen City, not the northern one in Ohio. We're talking about the one over in North Carolina, and they get themselves like that. And so, this is the live show that's going on right now, as you know. But if but if for some reason you miss it, no big deal. Our live show is strictly for our viewers for the discussion group, and of course those who have do have your YouTube. But if you miss it, no big deal. You can catch it on our YouTube channel, X, and Spotify.com. If you miss the live show, all of the episodes are uploaded Wednesday at midnight for your listening and viewing pleasure. And if you have any questions about the show, about questions, comments, anything else about our guests and everything, please email us at RBDG, the podcast at gmail.com. RBDG, one word, at gmail.com. And finally, we have a birthday shout out this week. Happy birthday to Andrew Merrick and Kevin Smith. I hope you guys are out there enjoying your best day with your family and friends. And so, as we get ourselves ready for the show tonight, there's also going to be an announcement with Gotham FC. We're going to talk a little bit about that after the break. And with all speculation, meaning that the Gotham FC's time at Sports Illustrated Stadium may come to an end. We'll talk about that in a bit. But first, let me bring, of course, your guests of tonight's show. Not even our guests, your hosts for the show, Mark Coates, and, of course, the model, Lanre Badmus. Gentlemen, before we get to the match recap real quick, how was your weekend?
Semi-satisfying.
Semi-satisfying?
Semi-satisfying.
Okay, well, that's, that's pretty...
A point is a point. You take the point and you run when you're on the road.
Well, that's true. You get the point and you run for your life after that. But folks at the group were yelling and screaming, Lanre, that this game was winnable. You agree?
Totally. We know we got that late equalizer, of course, but there were opportunities to get the equalizer much earlier than that, and then from there potentially go on and win it. Toronto, I feel, is a very beatable team, but.
Okay, let's stop that. Let's put the brakes on that for just 1 second.
Beatable?
Why do you say beatable? Because they looked anything but. They had problems, trying to keep Lanre contained. He was all over that midfield. So that didn't look beatable to me.
It's Toronto. Like, you expect the other shoe to drop at some point, right?
Okay.
So I know it's ironic coming from a New York Red Bulls fan, but still, come on, it's Toronto.
Man, it's ironic. Mark, tactically, coach-wise, I'm sure you had some quibbles.
We considering how well we played with the ball, we had opportunities. I was screaming at the TV when Julian decided to cut inside instead of taking that ball out and around the keeper, which would have been up 1-0. And I know a lot of people were commenting on the thread that Emile does not look like Emile. And he doesn't. He looks a little slow. There's times he hesitates when he should just take the shot. He looks for a pass, and when he finally does take the shot, it's not on target. It's not where he wants to be. It's not with enough pace, whatever the case is. We had opportunities. We probably should have walked out of there with a 2-1 victory, but we didn't. And even the goal we gave up, I mean, I think everybody fell asleep. They caught us napping.
Yep.
It was a quick restart, and then unfortunately, I love
wondering why was everybody up that far.
He was just
off the field.
He stopped. I mean, if you watch the replay, he stopped, and I'm sure we'll have to endure that, seeing it again. But he, wide open. He wasn't paying attention. He didn't see someone coming out. I mean, listen, he's young. He's going to learn. I think a lot of what Bradley said post game was spot on. So you take the point, you learn the lessons, and hopefully you turn that into a positive. That's what I'm at.
All right, let's get to the match recap real quick, and basically you'll see exactly what Mark and Lanre and myself were talking about. And I'm sure there's going to be some questions afterwards, but hey, as they say, one point is better than 0.
Building nicely amongst a Canadian cacophony on home opening day at BMO Field. And away we go in yet another new era. And not for the first time. Can Red Bull find a way through here? Ruvalcaba tried to slip in behind. Marshall Rossi forcing a very good save. And an awkward moment defensively for Toronto, who eventually can scramble clear, only as far as Manati. And wide.
Again, he does the right thing, striking low and hard across the grain. Red Bull been able to take advantage of the attacking in themselves this year.
Forsberg with the ball in. Here's Forsberg once more. Back across the face of goal it goes. Still not cleared away. Gavran couldn't gather. Walker Zimmerman to the rescue.
And Walker Zimmerman, just the right thing, backing up his goalkeeper, but some nerving moments here for Toronto FC defending.
We tested in this moment as Red Bull manoeuvre forward. Here's Hall. Mehmeti. Ruvalcaba. Standard and well gathered save by Luka Gavran. Cam replay is brought to you by AT&T.
Ruvalcaba, we've seen switch sides now to the...
We'll give it a go. So it is Georgi Mihailovic forcing a fabulous save from Ethan Horvath.
And setting this one up, and he's just looking to get this one up and down, and he does exactly that with good pace. And how about that for a save? Horvath, outstretched arm, getting that left hand to it.
Away by Justin Chi, who now can bring the ball forward for Red Bull New York. So comfortable and composed on the ball. In behind now for Hall. Very good save. Both goalkeepers called into action.
Corner kick here. See that Chait breaks really well, and Hall has to stretch for it.
Edwards. Fighting ball in. Into the path now of Mihailovic. Very good save from Horvath. Pushed to one side for now. Gavran thumping the ball forward for Mihailovic. Dunko back to cover. Mihailovic. Shalloway awaiting. Shalloway! Scoring!
Down. We spoke about the introduction of Daniel Shalloway, how direct he is, how goal-oriented he is. They show it here, going from one end to the next.
Giving the ball away as Raheem Edwards had stepped. It's Julian Hall. Perhaps an opening for Red Bull. Little flick to Emil Forsberg! Hits it wide! Mehmeti. Hall. And Forsberg! Pushed to one side for now by Gavran. Quickly done by Shalloway. Red Bull back in possession, not on the edge, it falls. Zimmerman got something on it, cleverly done by Emil Forsberg. Here come Red Bull New York, now then. Referee for a moment thought about blowing the whistle, it seemed. Edwards needs some treatment, it seems, but this is the reason so many held their breath, Kalen.
Forsberg does a really good job of playing it behind the leg, and this will be interesting.
After review, there's no foul in the play. The on-field decision stands. Restart the drop ball.
chance to be a part of it. Here's Rollsborough inside the penalty area here for Red Bull New York, forcing a very good save for Luca Galvran. Corner. Shalloway into Kerr, with Sargent and Etienne in support, as well as Larea. In behind now, Sargent! Very good save from Horvath.
It's a good run here from Sargent, and timing is tight. Kerr releases him wide, and he takes it first time, hard and low across the frame. Well, so all 11 in the box.
Valencia's ball in. Cleared up, not away by Kerr. Zimmerman got a piece of it back from whence it came. It's still not cleared away. Oh, it's in!
Comes at an awkward height to be able to clear it. Just ricochets off, and see Choupo-Moting is challenging for the first one, and it pays off at the death to steal a point for Red Bull New York.
And indeed, it was the last kick of what was a compelling football match here.
You can think that was the last kick of the game, ending the score 1-1. Salawi in the 43rd minute, Choupo-Moting 5 minutes into stoppage time. That he scored his first goal of the season. That's his 18th career goal in MLS. The lead equalizer, of course, from Choupo-Moting was his 5th latest goal scored during an MLS season match in club history. 97 minutes and 2-second mark. That was also the second time in his career with New York that he has scored an equalizer or match winner in the 7th minute of stoppage time or later. So when you're in the game late and the game is on the line, the last man you want to see anywhere, hounding around in the box is that guy, okay, because he will find a way to get it in. With his last time being, if anybody remember, was a game-winning penalty kick against Real Salt Lake in the 9th minute of stoppage time back in August 10, 2025. Winger Mohamed Sofo, he made his return, made his first start of the season after recovering from an ankle injury. Nice to have him back. Defender Tim Parker made his first appearance of the season, subbing in the match in the 2nd minute of stoppage time. Goalkeeper Ethan Horvath, he made 4 saves in that day, which was tied for his 4 saves against Orlando City. Yours truly was there live and in person when that happened, back on February 21st, for most saves in a single match for him this season. And with that draw, gentlemen, New York has moved their unbeaten streak against Toronto to 14 matches. They thought they had their first win in forever, and then the last kick of the game happened, which is probably the reason why they got booed off the field. It was like, what? We couldn't beat these guys yet again, and we had these guys on the ropes? Well, nope, thanks to Mr. Choupo-Moting. The draw also moves the Red Bulls' unbeaten streak against Toronto to 7 consecutive matches. The side's road record against the home side improved to 6, 7, and 10. And there you go. So, with all said and done, man in the match, game balls, your thoughts. And I'm talking to everybody also on the, also in our, in attendance tonight. Who do you think who gets the game ball tonight?
Definitely Mameji.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of tough. I mean, nobody really was that phenomenal. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have to say, I know that a lot of people don't look at him as a great signing, but having Marshall Ruddy, he's been good. He's I mean, for somebody we knew next to nothing about, he has done well. And I think, obviously I'm partial to Dos Santos. I know he's young, he's still got a lot to learn. Like I said, I just didn't see anybody who truly stepped up.
This might hurt your feelings a little bit, Mark, but I don't want to see him taking corner kicks ever again.
No,
I mean, not for nothing, man. I mean, my mark when it comes to corner kicks, you make those kicks like you wanted to score from that position. You rocket that ball in that box.
Well, the question becomes, why is Emile not taking it?
That's another question. And can we talk about Emile for just 1 second and be a little bit more truthful on that? He looks a step slow. I mean, there was one play where he had a point blank shot, and that could have, he could have scored that goal, but he pushed it wide, to his right, and it didn't miss by much. And he's not going to get these opportunities, especially where you have Caden Clark. And if anybody wondered why he didn't start, he was enjoying his time as a new father. Him and his lady gave birth to their first child, so he was excused. Okay, so you're the cap. Excuse me. Repeat.
Caden Clark, you said?
Caden. Yep. Caden. Yep. Not Caden. Caden Cowell. My bad. Sorry about that. Caden Cowell. He didn't dress for the team. He didn't make the team, but him and his lady had his first child. So he was bonding with his to his new baby, and that's probably the reason why he was not in the lineup. But there's a good bet he'll be in the next one. I don't know if he's going to be there for Charlotte. I wait until he comes back, when they all come back home, and when he's hostile and ready to go. Okay, because we missed his fight, we missed his bite. Making those runs. Making a run in those crosses, and a couple of things that came out, Lanre. The crosses were terrible. The corner kicks were absurd. I mean, I never felt bad about a baller from Red Bull 2 because, as you know, that's my soft spot. I mean, I love those guys in Red Bull 2, but I was one of the Santos who was like, dude, come on, hit the target.
I'll take the corners.
I mean,
because John Topi did it for left back, don't mean you got it.
I mean. Hit the target. I mean, many of his corner kicks did not hit the target in the box. I mean, they sailed over him. Some went over the other night. He missed more times than he hit. I mean, that's not an option. So get somebody else. Maybe Valencia will come in and do the deed. But his corner kicks ain't that great either. I mean, we need someone who is an assassin there, because you don't have a lot of tall targets. You don't, okay? You really don't. You don't have tall center backs that can grab that ball in the air with their head and cause problems. And don't see it, guys. Feel free for all of you. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I just don't see it. That's why I'm feeling Dos Santos. No, give that assignment to somebody else. Give that assignment who can able to put the ball in play. Your thoughts. Your thoughts. Really.
He's playing well, but like I said, that's corner kicks. Obviously, he's underperforming. But I've seen this guy take free kicks, and I've seen him put in crosses, playing at Red Bull 2, and he's great on those. But yeah, I think you hit it right on the nail right on the head. He's trying to score. You're not going to get the Olympico. Let's put it out of your mind.
You're not, especially floating the ball in. Especially floating the ball in the box, Mark. That's not happening. No. A corner kick should look like a shot. Okay, that should be coming in with pace, high heat, and when something coming in, something coming right. There's something coming with high heat, that ball is going to bounce around, get free, and someone's going to put their foot on it, either from the defense or from the offense. You got to give those guys in the box. They're fighting, trying to get around each other and pulling and fouling each other. Hopefully, they don't get caught by the ref. Okay, ending the play right there. But you got to give the guys going into the box, a chance. And I don't think he's giving these guys a chance. Some of these guys will be like holding their hands on their hips like, damn, man, come on. Give me the rock. Give me the rock. And off to the races they go. But, he needs some more he needs some more practice, delivering. That's my only problem, delivering those balls.
Time will tell. We'll see.
We'll see. All right, so.
I will say about Forsberg, I put it in the comments, but
go ahead, man.
I know it's only like the fourth game of the season, but I kind of do expect this to be his last year here. He's 34. He's already looking a step slow. He's not really making the impact that he did in it, especially in his first season, of course. He still has the quality, obviously, to decide a match on his own, but it's just, obviously, the pace. He was never the paciest player, but in general, like his reactions just took a step slow this season.
I mean, he's not supposed to be
diminished as we go on. Maybe we could look for, in the summer transfer window. Maybe we could look for a replacement for him on the market.
I mean, to me, he's that quarterback. He's that guy in the middle of the field. He gets the rock, and then he's got options on his left, and he's got options on his right. Rubacabra was basically pulled out of his natural position. I don't know why in the world he wasn't on the left-hand side. He's much more lethal there, not coming to the right. He's like a fish out of water. I understand you got to do what you got to do as far as making the pieces fit. But if you pull someone out from his much better position, he's not going to be effective at all. Because that was a game that I expected Rubacabra to go off. Okay, yeah. But it didn't happen because he was not on his natural left side. He was on his right side. Okay. It did to me. It just, and a lot of people who saw that just didn't work. Okay, even with Cowell not there, we're hoping for Harper to heal up soon. Not too soon, Mark. Not too soon. No, he's too much of a weapon. Okay, he's too much of a weapon to be coming back too soon. Okay, too much of a weapon. He's that guy. He's going to be. I promise you all this. He's going to be that dude coming off the bench to cause problems late in games because he got that moxie. He got that speed. But when you're dealing with the type of injury that he had, that's going to take some time. And, Kula says, you got the right head. I love the way you think, man. Forsberg and Chupo are going to have their last dance this year. We know this. This is not a mystery. Okay. Red Bulls need 3 game changers next year at DP. Buy down Rubacabra to TAM. I like it, but let's worry about those 3 targets that you talked about. Okay, Rubacabra was basically waiting for JMR to do something before he asked for the ball. Do something. That was the problem. Jaquil Marshall-Ruddy, he had a great game, but when you got your guy up ahead of you waiting for the rock, how many times we see that with the Knicks, Lanre? I'm like, okay, you got to do something.
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
either pass or shoot.
Mellow before that.
Yeah. Do something with the rock, dude. I mean, hello. I mean, that's something you don't want to happen. You really don't want that to happen. Okay,
not professional level.
It's and it's only going to get worse. If anyone has looked around the next 5 games, these are not gimmies. Okay, we're going to be rolling into heavy headers. Okay, start with Charlotte. Okay, they ain't as weak as you think they are. We have never won a game in Charlotte. We haven't. No, we have not won a game in Charlotte. And Lanre going to talk about that part after the break. Meanwhile, okay, I talked about game balls. Justin Chi, he up there. Mehmeti, he up there. Let's see. I would have to say, other than I voted both. I voted both Choupo-Moting and Evan Horvath for his 4 saves. Of course, naturally there was not enough to make the top, but he definitely was on the team. Because we media types, we get to choose man of the match day. So I put my guys in based on what I saw, and and of course Penzo doing Penzo things. That's all I can explain about the PK. I mean, how many times he doesn't call PK his way?
There was a handball on
he missed
Toronto.
it.
Missed it. That was a foul in the box. I mean, and the worst part was I didn't even remember who it was from Toronto. Was over and there was taunting. He's leaning down, taunting Julian Hall on the ground. Nothing's said, nothing's called. He goes and reviews it, and then he says, "Nah, I'm not going to give it to him."
Right, like I said,
nonsense, absolute nonsense.
Penzo, like I said,
referee.
Like I said, I mean, his wife is. It's kind of funny how his wife is now elevated over him. She's been the better referee. I gotta call it. I gotta call it. She's been the better referee.
It must
than her husband.
Fun at dinner time with the two of them.
I mean, that must be, hey, honey, you blew that call versus the Red Bull. And I'm sure that's how it gets started with a divorce and whatnot. Who knows?
I mean, if it's Eagles,
some dudes. I mean, I'm sorry, man. Some dudes just just can't take that. Meanwhile, over in Belson Field in Jamaica, New York City FC 2 and New York Red Bull 2 fought to a draw after 90 minutes. But you know how it is in New York, and you know how it is in MLS Next Pro. After that, you go to PKs for that extra point, and Red Bull 2 losing penalties 5-4. Reed, that guy's a pain, scored in the first minute. They got even in the 52nd, and then because after that, there was a game that was winnable. But take a look at this. 3 shots, 2 on target. 16 shots, 5 on target. Wait a minute. They were able to make do more with less? I mean, Mark, stats there, I mean, that's the type of stat that make you scratch your head and go, wait a minute. Seems like to me, New York Red Bull 2 defense was humming in that match.
Listen, they played well. I don't like turf. You don't like turf. I don't think anybody likes turf. But that field was rough. And listen, the team played well. They kept it together, got it to 90 minutes, and as we all know, penalties a crapshoot. It's you never know. I mean, it happens, you know. It's that part of the game in Next Pro where you're like, you work so hard, you get the point for the draw,
right?
But you get the extra point, obviously, but you don't get 3. But you get a second point if you can win in PKs,
right? If
you
win in PKs,
look what Red Bull 2 did last year, top of the Eastern Conference, and then they marched their way to the final at home. You know, Nick and I were at all 4, so it's tough when you have to let one like that go. But again, it's on the road, so you got
especially if you're a local rival.
Yeah,
they can say, "Well, we no,
we're talking about Red Bull 2,
Red Bull 2, and with CFC 2. I mean, especially over your local rival, they can say, "Yeah, we got one over you this time." Yeah. But you didn't make the playoffs last year. Yeah.
And we won the title last year.
You didn't make the playoffs last year, so shut up. I mean,
Pigeons.
You know, that's going to be their nickname.
Homeless FC.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yep.
Well, speaking of, you mentioned playoffs. I wanted to get this in because I had it in my notes from while I was watching the replay today. There's currently 4 teams that are in the playoff. I know we're only 4 weeks in, but you have us, New England, Toronto, and DC are all in the top 9. These are teams that did not make the playoffs last year. Philly is almost at the bottom of the table.
Philly's only 4. How did that? And the sporting director got suspended without pay. What's going down? What's going over in Chester?
Yeah,
what the hell?
They're going to lose their coach I guarantee you, before April 1st, they will have a new coach.
They're falling apart. This is hilarious. I am one of loving.
We can enjoy it, right? We're allowed to enjoy that.
Agitators towards us.
Yeah.
They suck.
I mean, we can't say. I mean, look. Let's make something very clear, okay? We can't say jack until we find a way to beat them in Chester, okay? So I'm holding that. I'm holding that regard. Till that happens, we can't say nada. Nada. We got.
Garry,
go ahead.
When has that ever stopped me?
You?
Ever.
No, you're a fearless brother. You're a fearless brother. I mean, me, we don't care. I mean, I sat in that place and I got serenaded by Union fans, okay? And I was the only guy wearing a Red Bull shirt in that whole section. And I took it like a man. It don't bother me. I've done this nonsense with the Knicks, done this nonsense with the Giants. Oh, that was a lot of fun down in D.C., down over in Landover. Okay, dudes throwing beer at me and my cousin. I mean, look, I've been through the fire. Okay, it don't bother me. Okay, Philly, during Knick game, dudes wanted to fight me in the parking lot. No problem. I ain't scared. Bring it.
Oh
Bring
my
it.
goodness!
Yo, first of all, I'm a Gen X. Okay, I'm nearly 60 years old. People forget. People my age, especially Gen X, yo, we throw hands. We don't care. We throw hands. So it don't bother me. But until we find, I would love it, if you went down there and pasted an L at that place. Let it burn. Okay, let
I
it
need
burn.
to burn through their souls.
But that team, Mark told me that team got booed off the pitch. Booed. Ouch. And your sporting director, for some reason, he couldn't, I don't know if he couldn't keep his hands to himself or whatever the case may be, they smacked him. The league just made an announcement. They just suspended this boy without pay till June.
He couldn't keep his mouth shut. I'm reading an article right now. It said he made use of sexist and anti-gay language in the workplace while also being reported for
In other words, stupid stuff. Okay? Things that you're supposed to say in your head, you said out loud. Moron.
Having a thought is disturbing in the first place. But
he's got no filter. He's got no filter. He found around, he said he effed around and found out. Your own organization ratted you out to the league. What does that tell you something? They don't like you.
They don't want you.
They don't want you. They don't like you. They want you gone, bro. You know how much of a despicable human being you have to have your own organization rat you out to the league for stuff that you couldn't keep your mouth shut on? Damn! And you ain't getting paid till June. Damn!
The depth of that club is delicious.
Oh, but still, we got to keep our mouth shut because we beat them in Chester in 4 damn years. Okay, so
only been that long?
It's been that long.
I swear it's been longer than that.
Since
feels like it's been longer than that.
It's been longer than that. But the last time we beat anybody, we beat them was 2018. 2018.
In Chester.
In Chester.
I thought it was 19 at least.
No, 18. 18. I remember that one was yesterday.
I turned 30 this year. I was still in college last time. You're kidding me.
You was working on getting graduated for your career right now. That's how long it's been. Damn, we're talking about Philly too much. Let's end that. Let's end that. Moving on. It's great to kick these guys when they're down, but moving on. Gotham, as we talked about. Okay, Boston. They went up to Boston Legacy and they took on and won 1-0. Lady Gonzalez, that woman. Good God, this woman just can't stop scoring. Esther Gonzalez became the 35th player in league history to reach 25 season goals, and she's the 20th to do so with the same club. Okay? Goodness gracious, this woman she's a goddess, okay? She finds a way. And they did this, oh, by the way, in front of 30,207 folks. They never had it that high. They never really had it that high. Let me repeat this. 30K showed up and watched their Boston team. They don't usually get this with the Revs, okay? They probably get 25 or something, whatever the case may be. 30K, boys. 30K. Give that club their flowers, okay? They waited for their own NWSL team, and they showed up, and they showed out. Okay, can we finally say that the women's game is strong? Yes or no? And I'm also asking everybody in the audience, is the women's game strong? Yes or no?
I'd say 30,000 showing up would show it's pretty strong. It's not. Look, and I don't want to take anything away from the ladies. I know we got this in our group chat today. Brooklyn FC pulled in 3,000 for their home opener, or just over 3,000. The Cosmos had just under 4,100. For their home opener.
4,100.
Listen, it's a lot. It's a lot of. That's you. That ain't me.
I mean,
Sorry,
4,100. 4,100.
Gary,
I mean,
see,
we're talking about the Cosmos.
Lanre doesn't have to listen to that. Gary and I hear sirens day and night. City light.
I don't have to hear it. I don't have to hear it at all. I'm in a secluded area.
Oh, shut up.
no.
Anyway,
He's in the middle of the woods.
suburban boy. But anyway, yeah, I mean,
No, listen, they
4,100 for
for them.
the, okay, 4,100 the Cosmos. It's not too shabby because I know
They're just
that
starting out.
facility doesn't like 10. It can hold about what 10 grand or something like that. So half of y'all showed up, and that's not that's. I mean, but then again, where are they? They're not in MLS. They're not even USL Pro. I mean, they're not in USL Championship.
Right.
They're in USL 1.
Yeah.
That was about the lowest you can possibly get within the USL tier. Their whole idea is to promote themselves up to USL Championship, and then they're going to try to make some noise there. But for now, they are where they are. But the other story, the other side of that coin in that story, boys and girls, is I received an email from Gotham FC, the media folks. There's supposed to be some sort of announcement to be made over at the club section over in City Field. Now, from what I can speculate, and mind you, this is just speculation, nothing more, that the days of Gotham FC playing their games at Sports Illustrated Stadium may come to an end. I will be asking questions as much as most of the media. So a lot of people will be excited that that team is now moving on to the New York side. The place they'll be playing will be at Etihad Field when it goes online next season. Right, the baddies are flying away. Just like the rebellion, it's flown away. They're gone. They're not here anymore. Well, okay. I'm hearing a lot of chirping. Again, speculation. This is all rumor and nonsense. They weren't too happy with their situation with Sports Illustrated Stadium. Their locker room was one of the, other locker rooms, not the visitors or anything. It was the third locker room, something like that. Okay. They didn't get access to the Red Bulls locker room, which they thought they should, get, but Red Bull said, no, this is for our guys and our guys alone. So, they brought 2 championships to the belt. I'm going to be there for the season opener. They're going to raise another banner there. They also won the Confederation Championship. So they won titles, boys and girls. Okay. And they figured to get that respect. They figured to get that due. At the end of the at the end of the day, you're renting the stadium, you're renting the facility. At least you have access to the training facility over in Whippany, New Jersey. Mind you, the Red Bulls are moving to their new place, and they're leaving the old place to Gotham. They say, okay, the place we used to be at? It's yours. Take it. So they're gonna, so they're gonna take that spot. They'll have a training spot on their own, and of course, the Red Bulls are gonna be moving to their state-of-the-art digs down the road and around the corner from where they are right now. And I'm sure you guys have all seen the photos of what it was going to look like. Oh my God. This is the type of a facility that impresses big ballers, Lanre, Mark. Okay. This is where they go when they in all the amenities that you can able to be as a pro and then some is going to be right there. The ladies, for some reason, wanted to go with them, and they were told, no, we're going to give you this one. Why can't we have this one? Because you can have this one. We're giving you a training center. What's the deal? Like I said, all of this is all speculation, but I want to get the answers from them tomorrow at 3 and find out. My first question for them, gentlemen, is this. Why move? I thought you guys had it good here.
Do they really think they're going to be treated better in Queens?
They might. They might. They've already got a built-in fan base from New York that will make the trip. Don't Don't let that fool you. They're going to show up. It's going to be more than 10 grand at that place, And like I said, if you look at the comparison between Etihad Field and Sports Illustrated Stadium, that place is a palace. Okay, state of the art.
RBA. I will never call it Sports Illustrated Stadium. I know you have to for professional reasons. I'm just telling you right now, I will never call it that. Ever. Okay, you could not pay me to do that.
You're a fan first. I agree. But this is
my GPS in my truck still says Red Bull Arena.
There you go.
Your GPS in your truck is based as hell.
So it's also from 2018. I don't think the software has been updated yet. It's cool.
Lanre is. Excuse me.
I just call it the cathedral. I can't say.
Yeah.
It just. And speaking of which, I have to say the app stinks. The ticketing system stinks. I don't think any of this works very well right now. So they've got a lot of kinks to work out. I mean, we've had 2 home games, and there've been a lot of people grunting and groaning about it, and rightly so. It should be working better. They should have done a lot more testing. And I feel for everybody. I don't know what the answer is, but they're going to have to do something because people can't list tickets, until you don't get them until 2 days before the game.
That's wrong.
That's
wrong. They're your tickets. I mean, I don't understand the problem. They're your tickets.
I got tickets to the Rush concert in July.
I mean, you're selling
40 days ago. That's 200 days before the concert. I got them in my wallet already. Like, you can't get a ticket for a soccer game.
I mean, your whole. Correct me if I'm right.
J. Cole concert in August.
Yeah.
In my wallet already.
Yeah. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Their whole selling point, right? Their whole premise, their whole reason d'etre is that we are not Ticketmaster, and yet you're worse than Ticketmaster. I mean,
Did you ever think those words would come out of your mouth?
No. No. I mean, you guys were telling everybody, "Oh, we're not Ticketmaster. We're not out to screw you with extra price, with late fees and everything else." No, but you're smacking them upside the head with your incompetence. Our own fans can't get the tickets until 48 hours before match day, so they can decide whether they want to go or not. I mean, I give away most of my. I give away all of my tickets. We'll talk about that much later. Brazil's going to be using the new Red Bull training facility as their base. That's impressive, okay? That place is going to be impressive, okay? When they were talking about putting shovels in the ground, remember that photo, or what was that video I showed you guys about Red Bull Bragantino's training facility, how badass that place is? And I said, this is, and I asked Andrew Vazano, I said, there's going to be someone like that? He said, close. I said, whoa. He said close. He said, I've seen the rendering. I've seen the construction video. I've seen the place. We're going to be the coolest ones on the block.
We are the coolest ones on the block.
I mean, they're going to have some sort of they're going to have some sort of thing where the press is going to be there when it officially opens, and I'm taking a whole lot of photos, so anything else. But
my club will be cooking again, except for losing 3-0 to Montreal at home inexplicably after they shipped 8 goals and scored 0 before that.
This was all. This was all the thanks of one man who showed up. As the Red Bull go-between global. What if you remember global? As you know, he's the former manager of Liverpool. He showed up and said, "Okay, this is the way it should be." And just like Klopp said, okay, we need to do this, in order for people to take this organization seriously. He may not be in charge of bringing the players and everybody who was hoping to have wet dreams of, excuse my French, of every so once in a while. But before you can have it right, before you can have a team, what you got to have, what do you got to have, boys? Infrastructure. And so this is a hell of a flex. They declared, they said, hey, this is not good enough for, the rest of MLS. And if you're not, if you're not familiar, if you take a look at other teams, training centers, boys, Ay, ay, ay. You know, I mean, some of these places, Charlotte, Seattle, you know, all these places look lights out better than what they had. So the league is growing, and they're, you know, and the training centers are going to fit that. Even FC Cincinnati's new training center is state of the art. You can't have a big club without having something like that. So Red Bull said, okay, hold my beer. And did just that. Okay? We need to have this. And, oh, here's the fun part, right? That's going to be an academy where kids can go in there and learn the ABCs of soccer and live there. There's going to be a residency program. We're going to have a full-time football program. So it's not going to happen right away, which we're 30 years into this league and we're still starving for championships. But at least we're going to get quality ballers coming out of that academy like we had back in the day. Remember when we had guys coming from Red Bull 2 and they were a squad to be reckoned with, and they won USL, had everyone going, how the hell did these kids win the league, get the chip, right? They literally killed the league and stuff like that, got the shield and got the cup. And many of those guys wound up in the first team, and what happened, right? We were taken seriously as a real club with a straight face. Get the organization to that point where it's not a matter of if, but when, and fans will start coming around. Right now, they're not coming around right now because it's still a matter of if. They're looking at, they're looking at teams with better ballers and looking at kids, and that's understandable. I can't fault them for that, guys. Mark, Lanre, can't fault them for that. But they're not going to be little for very long. If you're going to be able to keep them around for maybe 3 seasons or 2 or something like that and build them up and keep that same coach, I don't want them going anywhere. So, let's get him into the Premier League. No, you don't. So, no, you don't. You keep him here, okay? You keep him here and let him build what he did, Red Bull 2, which, of course, you got the person that built the program before they handed it off to Michael Bradley, okay? So they're still in the same staff together. So who knows? As they say, who knows? Moving forward, as they say, it's time for us, before we get to the next phase, of course, our Lanre Badmus is going to talk about Charlotte FC and why we shouldn't take this team very lightly. So here is week number 4 of MLS. See you in 30 seconds. Okay, as we look at Toronto in the rearview mirror, our next game is versus Charlotte FC, and of course Nicholas Llanos will have the game thread at your service. Funny thing about Charlotte FC, guys, we played them very sparingly. I mean, basically, this is the 5th game of the season. Kickoff is at 7:45. But when you look at the overall record, right, the head-to-head regular season is 3-2-3. But at Charlotte, 0, 2 losses, 2 draws. This is their 11th all-time meeting. But the one glaring statistic that is right there in front of everyone's face, wins in Charlotte, Lanre, 0.
0.
You have the floor, sir.
Well, I was there for the first ever game that we played in Charlotte back in June 2022. Sweltering hot day. It was a 3 o'clock kickoff, I believe.
Ooh.
2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, can't remember which.
3 o'clock on the turf? Ooh.
Yeah, on that turf. Got our butts kicked, 2-0, second best all day. Since then, now, Charlotte FC, back then they were an expansion team. We didn't have much hope of going to the playoffs, but now in the last 3 years, they've become a real solid team, real solid playoff team especially. They don't have the ghost of Elias Manuel creeping up on them anymore. he went back to Brazil. So now they can actually be free and be the club they feel they were always meant to be, which is a consistent solid
Well,
playoff
being
team.
terrorized.
He's completely terrorizing Charlotte, man. It's crazy. Obviously we got a lot of Premier League fans here. The one most notable name on Charlotte FC is Wilfried Zaha, Ivory Coast international, former baller with Crystal Palace. Fortunately, never really got a chance in Man United, but dazzled with Crystal Palace. That famous midfield with him, Emre Eze, and Michael Olise for several years. He's now in the second season with Charlotte FC, and he got an assist to his name this season. He's a very dynamic player, very exciting to watch. They have Idan Toklamani as a striker, 21 years old. He's in his third season now with Charlotte. He's got a goal of his name this season, and he's looking to have to add to his 13 goals from last season, and continue on his ascent. Leo Labata, also on the wing, also Israeli, formerly a Celtic. They got Tim Ream, of course, still a U.S. men's national teamer, incredibly at the age of 38, our old boy. Shout out Tim Ream. Christian Kalina, Pep Biel, who they signed from Olympiacos on a permanent deal, and he's already got 3 goals to his name this season. He's really the engine in that midfield, and that's a team that you should definitely not take lightly at all.
Nope.
They're going to come out. They're going to really want to make a statement. They're going to be looking to make a statement against the Red Bulls. They're one of those teams that just have had a huge hard-on of hatred for us ever since they came to the league, and God knows why everybody hates us. And
well, wait a minute. Everybody hates. Everybody hates us, dude. I mean, that's nothing new. That's not a new news. I mean, ever since this organization changed the name from the MetroStars to Red Bull, everybody hates Red Bull. So, but that's about it.
I've heard from people. I've had discussions with people, even like romantic partners or whatever, that kind of laugh at the Red Bull name, and I'm like, I can't really defend it.
No, you can't. I mean, you have to put your pride in your club and do what else. One of the things. Okay, let's talk about the game. Tactically at this point. Lanre, what's your answer first? Mark, right behind him. Name some of the players that are going to give that midfield, which is not exactly set in stone, fits. Okay. But keep in mind, Chi, he ain't playing. He's got a hamstring issue, so he out. So what could be an issue, for Michael Bradley and company?
Well, of course, it's keeping Wilfried Zaha at bay. He's up there. He's advanced in age now. He's 33, turning 34. Late this year, but he's still a baller. He's still going to do a lot of damage. They also got to make sure they contain Topolbody and Abada as well. They got to. I'm looking to see hopefully Dunk or maybe Bergman, maybe to just switch it up. I'll give him any rest. One of them, somebody's going to have to mark Pep Biel out of the game. Make sure he doesn't get
easier said than done.
Midfield, he's already got 3 goals this year.
Easier said than done. Mark, put your coaching hat on. What do you Well, what are you looking at right now? Because
I think this is sort of I take the step of we're still rebuilding. Yeah, it's going to be a process, and while we all want to see our team play well, Michael's still feeling out. When I say Michael Bradley, he's still feeling out this team. He's still feeling out the league. I mean, yes, he played in the league, but he didn't coach in the league.
Right, big difference.
And I think there is a big difference. And yes, we have a lot of younger players, but we do have some veterans. We have guys with experience, and he's working towards getting them all to mesh together. And this is something that I think we as fans have to take into account when we're talking about this team right now. These guys, half this team wasn't on the first team last year, whether it was the Red Bull 2 players, the new signings that have come in. We traded off multiple players. We brought it. You've got all these guys coming together. You mentioned Caden Cowell was not in Toronto.
No.
He may or may not be in Charlotte. We don't even know.
I can't see him being in Charlotte.
No, I mean, I don't think he will be. I think we'll probably see him in April,
Right.
when we return home.
Yeah.
But that's, again, this is going to take some time. You throw in the fact that we're going to have almost a 2-month break for the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and then of course we have the Open Cup that'll rear its head soon enough. There's a lot going on, and I think this is again one of those things where you're starting to see Mohamed Sofo came back. I think we're going to see more of Omar Valencia. It's going to be one of those things where you're going to have chess pieces moving around. You're going to see who can do what, and my biggest concern is when you look at Chupo hasn't started, but he's come off the bench and done well. All right. Emil, I don't know, like I said, maybe he's just off to a slow start, sort of what I'm hoping. I'm hoping he's not out of gas.
Yeah.
Don't
forget, don't forget their keeper Kalina.
Yeah.
He's one of the best for the league for a reason. I mean, always.
Right. We've got quite a challenge to deal with, I think, coming up. So it's definitely a situation where we're going to have to consider who we're going to start. We're on turf. That doesn't favor the older guys. You and I can, feel for that. A lot of the younger Red Bull 2 players obviously have played at MSU on turf.
Mm-hmm.
They're more maybe suited to it, more adept to it. Maybe we see a young lineup run out, and you keep the veteran guys 60th, 65th, 70th minute subs. Yeah, that's sort of where I'd be looking at if I'm in Michael's shoes. What do you benefit most from at this point? And I think getting a look at some of the younger kids, which is what he's trying to do. This is the way you determine, are these guys meant to be at this level? Because we talked about Matthew Dos Santos not doing corners. Yeah, I think that's definitely something Michael needs to cross off his list. Put someone else up. We know Valencia can do corners. We saw it last year.
Yeah.
Right. He's coming back slow as well this year. Let's see what these guys can do. And obviously with Che out, does that mean Tim Parker starts? Is Dylan ready to go? These are all these things we're having to deal with early with injuries now. So there's a lot going on. And I guess it's a lot can change between now and Saturday as far as player availability. But I think it's, like I said, we're going to see a younger lineup come Saturday is what I'm feeling.
All right. What do you see as the final score when it's all said and done?
Oh, I think we lose this one 2-1. I mean, I don't like to say those words, but I don't know that we have enough to pull off the win. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 loss.
What say you, Lanre?
1-1 draw.
Really?
I don't like to.
I mean, there's a silver lining in that cloud. You trying to say?
I think the silver lining in that cloud. This is a bold prediction. I think Jorge Rubalcaba gets his first goal as the Red Bull.
Okay, I'm thinking on the same line. I'm thinking the same mindset as that as well. That Jorge gets his finally, because I'm a little tired of seeing with that frustrated look on his face every time he fails a shot, whatever the case may be. I feel that he's finally going to get his. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw myself. There's a lot that I see in Carolina. I can see, in Charlotte. The one thing I don't see is a lot of offense. They know how to generate shots. They know how to generate chances. That's just like any other team. And, when you got Wilfred Zaha rolling around, if you neutralize him, then you got to worry about the other guys. If you can slow them down somewhat on that, on that quick, hot turf, you got a chance. My only concern for the Red Bulls, we keep talking about it, we keep harping about it, but that defense is still not set in stone. And one of the reasons is, of course, our de facto center back, Nealis, Dylan Nealis, is out for a while. So if he's in there solid, maybe we got a chance.
And Chi's out now too.
Chi is out too. Okay, so that's two big pillars defensively. That's gonna really mean the difference. I'm not, Nicholas saying Zaha admitted he's no longer the Palace player. He's not good enough, but he's not elite anymore. If he was still elite, he'd be still be in the Prem. Okay, he wouldn't be in MLS.
Of course,
okay,
there's no disputing that.
There's no dispute. He'd still be up in the Prem. However, he's still good enough to be a pain when you deal with him defensively. I mean, because he's a big body. He runs toward the box. He's all gas, no brakes. He's up there saying, "Try and stop me if you can," and Charlotte around this time ain't cold. It's going to be 77 degrees, warm weather, hot turf. Okay, I mean, I don't understand it. In March, okay, hot turf. I mean, it was quite warm. It was like 80 degrees when I was in Orlando. I mean, I left my long coat back at the hotel because it was definitely, I was going to be sweating my face off if I was walking around wearing that thing. It was like walking around with a blanket. Sweating.
You go from 34 degrees, 35 degrees to 77 degrees. Big difference.
Big difference.
Yeah.
I mean,
plus
sometimes
the turf.
Sometimes I wonder how these guys deal with it, but they're professionals for a reason. They're going to be going, in some cases, you're going to be, you've been playing in 1 week, in 90-degree weather and sunshine, and the next week you're going to be playing in the cold, like in 20. But that's, that's the breaks, and they're talking about switching, right, from spring to fall to fall to spring. Good luck to you. This is going to be interesting. So, with that said, I'm talking 1-1. Mark's talking about a loss. You're talking about a 1-1, and that's the story. We will keep it. Gotham FC's next game will be this Saturday against Carolina Courage, and of course, New York Red Bull 2. They will be playing on Sunday. They'll be playing. I don't know. They're playing on Sunday versus Philadelphia Union 2. That's the status. No, we don't do the Cosmos yet. They're outside our sphere of influence, so please don't ask. But we will mention them every so once in a while when they pop up. I know Miggy will because they're playing in his neighborhood of all places. So that's where it stands right now. Yeah, you dudes are crazy. Yeah, we are. We're sickos.
I'm talking about Nick and the crew driving up there in the snow.
They're sickos. Okay.
Yeah,
they're sickos.
That's dedication. That's Moises, man. He does not miss an away game.
No,
I put him up for legend this year or last year. I mean, the man is a legend.
Yep.
He makes the.
Oh.
I couldn't even begin to think about driving up there, in March.
Oh no! If you're looking in warm weather.
Yeah, that's like go to. Well, listen, the schedule makers have not been kind to us this year.
They never are.
When are they?
Yeah, but all three of our away rivalry games are Wednesday nights.
They never are.
New England, Philly, and DC are Wednesday night away.
Oh, that's nasty. No shot.
They take out the book and say, let's see how we can screw Red Bull fans this year even further than we normally do. And they did it. They said, hold my beer.
I've never been to New England.
Well, you're not missing much.
No. It's not a fun trip. It really isn't.
There's nothing there.
Right. If you think it's bad as fans, imagine it for the media. It's not a great trip. And so, episode 169 is now done and dusted, as always. If you have any questions, of course, about the show, about our guests or topics or anything else, by all means, please email us. We love to read our emails even after our show has concluded. RBDG, the podcast at gmail.com is the email address. Next week, Miguel Nunez and, of course, the Professor Nicholas Lianos will be back to have a recap of the following. Of course, the Charlotte game, of course, New York Red Bull 2 versus Philadelphia Union 2. Some of our old friends are going to be back there. And finally, the home opener for Gotham FC. Don't forget, I'm going to be reaching out to Gotham FC about the latest announcement is going to take place 3 o'clock tomorrow, and I'll give you guys all the heads up of what we're going to be talked about. But there's a good bet that they're going to be playing their home games over at Etihad Field, and not Etihad Stadium, Etihad Field in Queens. I know a lot of people have, dropped dead against it, but hey, it's business. I can understand why they're doing it, so this is where it is right now. So, that's it. Thank you so much for joining us. For Mark Coates, Lanre Badmus, and myself, thank you for joining us the last hour. We went a little bit overtime, but, just because we love to work with you guys so much. So that's it for now. Until then, folks, till next week, good night and goodbye.